Welcome back to Dad Me Podcast. We're back with John Kensil, Chip Chantry, just talking about getting rid of prostitutes. John, anything you want to add here?
No, but I had one time I may have told you my friends went down to Center City, Philadelphia to get prostitutes, and it's not like you see in movies. Oh, she has a heart of gold and she's a knockout, like Pretty Woman. These women look like Shirley from What's Happening. And they had two girls in their cars at like 21st and like Lombard.
Oh no!
And my friend Al, the Civil War actors in the front, my friend Paul's in the back, and they were drunk, and they go, let's get some prostitutes, and it's I'm grossed out by it because like they're coming, like I said, you think she's with you, you're the first customer she ever had, not she wasn't with like the Utah Jazz that afternoon, all right, so they're in a car, and
one car or two cars?
No, they're in one car. That's kind of gross with your friend in the back seat.
Weird, yeah.
So I think it's either Bloom or hand jobs or something. And so my friend, the Civil
War, one lady or two?
It was two.
Okay.
And their fake street names were Salt and Pepper or like Pineapple Pudding or something like that. Like two words that go together. And my friend Paul was drunk, and he
Turner and Hooch.
Sacco and Vanzetti, like, right? And, we're not stupid, we're smart, right? And so my friend Al, my milkman friend, finishes like right away. But when you're drunk, you're soft like a freaking
the milk expired,
right?
Yeah.
My friend was in the back seat with the other girl, and she goes, "I don't know what I'm gonna do with you," and he goes, "Just whack it, bitch." Right? Well, you don't say it to a street prostitute. She
I think you do.
Yeah, well, he did. She pinned him against the seat, and she had her foot against his neck, and she was, "You better pay." You don't
Had to pay extra
insult
for
him,
that.
right? So he's going, "All right, bitch." And he gave her the money, and they left, and they came back to the bar I was at in Northeast Philadelphia. It was Lanahan's at Northeast Philly. I'm pointing you like you. I know that bar from 30 years ago, but and they get out of the car.
Lanahan's.
Yeah, and we're in the parking lot. And Paul goes, I got to take a leak. And he's standing and pissing in the parking lot. And he goes, whoa. And here, she put a condom on him, and he didn't know. He was that drunk. And he goes to urinate. And it didn't fill up like a water balloon, but it filled up somewhat before it blew off his body. But I'll be polite, there's tinkle all over his pants.
That's the oldest trick in the book.
And he goes, "Oh, that bitch."
I think it's worse that he thought he fucking hung her without a condom was okay with it.
Yeah.
Man, you guys were crazy back in the day.
I got friends.
Speaking of that trick, John, will you please look in your shorts right now?
He's magic. How do you do that? I never. That was never in my mind. I got friends who would do that, but like you don't. For us, like I was like a what do you call it? Easy pass on her vagina. Like just.
I gotta be honest. Listen, I had fun with some ladies of the evening. I'll tell you what. Where I really felt like I had it all. Last year, I took my family to Disney World, and
A lot of prozzies there.
there are. And I rented. I got a very nice suite for us to stay in. And
three-fingered hand.
in the room that my wife and I shared, there was a tub inside the bedroom, and I was going through the fucking TV, and I was like, "Oh, Pretty Woman! I haven't watched this in forever." I put Pretty Woman on the TV. You know what that's about, right?
I've heard.
Yeah. And watching Pretty Woman, the lady takes a bath, and my wife's in the tub taking a bath in front of me. I was like, man, I really have it all right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you do, Mike.
I got my own prostitute.
Yeah, that's great.
That's nuts that you put on Pretty Woman on your Disney vacation with your family.
Well, this is funny. I went to I guess it was like the Hamptons. My uncle had a place in the Hamptons, and I was with him. He's older, and I turned on. We were in the hotel, and I turned on my Weekend at Bernie's.
Dude. Well, we had mentioned earlier about we all started comedy at a place called the Comedy Cabaret in Northeast Philly. It was a really nice hotel.
That was the best.
It was a Holiday Inn, and they kept losing their accreditation, making words up. What do you call that when they have to keep maintain their standards? Accreditations, and
hotels and colleges.
Yeah. It kept going downhill.
Yeah.
Now it's like a Motel 6.
Yeah.
And when they did comedy, they said, if you're going to promote it on your Facebook pages, just say the address. Don't say it's in the Motel 6. But Mike, the bartender, still works there. All right?
Oh, I love him. How's he
Yeah,
doing?
real nice guy. He's doing fine, and he looks the same. But
He licked my ear one night.
yeah,
He snuck up on me. He sucked my earlobe from the back.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's to the listeners out there. He's a
Bennigan's waiter.
Bennigan waiter, right? He enjoys. He has like he knows. He has Fred Schneider on speed dial, and he.
Or as John said one time about somebody in a similar situation, he goes, "I wonder what his wife's name is."
Well, real quick. One night, Mike he was really bad on everything, pills and everything, and he had a real Hawaiian tie, right? It was like all Hawaiian colors, a necktie, and it was me, two other comedians, and he goes, "Like my tie," and he goes, "I got it in Thailand," and I go, "Here's me laughing at that joke." I just stare with my mouth straight across, right? And he got so mad because no one laughed, and he goes, "Oh, really? Here's me laughing at your jokes." And he reached into an ashtray and got a handful of cigarettes and threw them in his mouth. And he goes, then he realized what he did. And he goes, "Ugh."
Oh my God.
And I look at the two comments. I go, "Well, he got me." but
Jesus Christ, dude, the psychopaths that
on the comedy-
starting out in comedy, dude.
oh,
Like just even attending open mic nights, the level of schizophrenia that you have to encounter. If I had to start from zero right now, I think I would prefer to just drown in a shallow
Every
river.
place you go is the Beetlejuice waiting room.
It 100% is. And then, so that's what you think comedy is. And you're like, am I a crazy person for doing this? Or how am I the outsider? Am I just going to have to be with this? And then you realize that 95% of these people are literally just outpatients. And then you find the 6 people who are sticking around for 6 months that are going to rise. And it's like, okay, now I know who's who.
Dude, one of my first weeks in comedy, like I showed up at the Laugh House. And I started talking to a guy who
Black
was
Club,
obviously,
by the way.
Yes, very Black Club. And this was a white fellow I was talking to. He was just well versed in, I don't know, I guess manipulating people.
Yeah.
So we struck up a conversation, and I was like, oh, this guy might be somebody. So I sat with him. I was like, all right, maybe I should hang out with him for a while. Then I quickly learned, like, oh, no, he should be in a mental facility right now.
Yeah.
And then gradually you kind of pick your mental patients.
when Chip first started, him and that other guy that's room down Center City, not Fergie's, the other one you did,
Finn
McCool's, and it was you and another guy. He was funny.
God, the bar names
Johnny
in
Good
Philadelphia.
Times.
No, the other
Dan
guy.
Goodman?
The other guy beforehand. He moved away. I thought you had it. Well, eventually Johnny Good Times.
Jeffrey
died.
Epstein.
But
He went down the island.
but we went down. It was like on a Monday or Tuesday night. You had it. Finn
Yeah.
McCool's. It was a neat. You started out in Center City, Philadelphia. But there was a woman who went on stage. She had black hair. I can't think of her name, but she didn't get one laugh.
Oh, Phyllis Voren.
Yes. And she told the audience to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
You people suck.
Yes, and she was like a theater. She was like in the theater scene, and she's still involved. I get sent. Pat House will send me links to, like, I think she's on Facebook where she's in like Phoenix now or something like that, and is involved in the theater scene. But she was like very like fringe festy, and she the show never started. It was supposed to be 9 p.m. The show never started till at least 10 o'clock on a Monday night. I wasn't happy about it, but that's just the way it was. And she just sat next to me at the bar the entire time and complained to. She's like, "Why don't you start the show?" I'm like, "Lady, there's nobody here. I'm not allowed to start the show. I would love to be home by now." And she just screamed at me. I was like, "Lady, if you don't like it, please, you can just leave. You don't have to stick around." So finally she waited, and she goes up, and it's like 8 guys, and she goes up and does this whole thing. She's talking about Shakespeare or whatever, gets nothing. And she's like, "You people are terrible." And then she even grabbed Pat House by the face, grabbed him like by the cheeks, and goes, "And you didn't even look me in the eyes." And then she stormed out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I used to if you ask Chip if he looks at the last text I sent him, I found a picture of a spaceship some guy bought, and it's like a parking lot. Mm-hmm. It's like as big as like a car hood. I said, this spaceship landed near me, and this Martian walked out, and it's Ed McGonigal wearing thigh-high socks. I think I sent it to you in Pat House, right?
Yeah.
Right. But we used to go to the Mike nights, and we used to go to a place called St. George's.
Oh, yeah, that's where I started.
Well, that's where Mike and who ran that?
That was Pat and Steve,
Kelly
right?
and Steve Reeves,
All right.
yeah.
Well, Mike was there, and this is how long ago was that when that woman was kidnapped by the
2003. the Abilene's lady, right? Or no, it was the soldier, right?
Yeah, soldier, right?
Yeah.
she was kidnapped. And
Jessica Lynch.
Jessica Lynch, and our Marines had to go find her. And Mike had talked about that. I think he said they found her from the green smoke emanating from her unwashed pussy. Well, there's a table full of Marines at the front table. Guy goes, yo, yo, yo.
No, that guy in the army, that military guy that screamed at you, I graduated high school with him. Oh, no way. He was a
Hold on. They found Jessica Lynch from the green smoke emanating from her unwashed. Dude.
I was a bad boy, yeah.
It was like the Bob Levy era. Or the,
Mike.
well, this is 20 years ago, right? That has to be right.
Yeah, this would be like
her
2003.
legs broken and she was like horrifically raped.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man.
He said they worked hard to find her, but it sounded like it was easy because they just followed the green neon smoke.
Oh boy.
But that was this dude I went to high school with. Like, I wasn't super friendly with him, but he was like friends of a friend of mine. So like 8 of them came, and like half of them stormed out. And I think that's the last time they saw me do comedy.
They desert stormed out.
They desert stormed out. Yeah.
Dude, that same place. I still harbor bad feelings toward my mother to this day because of what she didn't do there. Remember how when the comedy show would finish, it would turn into like an urban dance party afterwards.
Yes.
And the crowds would commingle. So by the end of the comedy show, you would have people raring to go for this dance party.
Yeah.
And I remember like finally going on stage. I was the last one up, and I looked to the back of the room at the back where the bar was. My mom's standing back there, standing next to 2 clump ladies. And the 2 clump ladies are yelling out, "You ain't shit, motherfucker! You ain't funny!" And my mom just fucking stood there and let them say that shit about me.
She had to swing. She
She
had
had
swing
to.
on him, yeah.
She would have lost, but you had to do something.
Yeah.
And she did not defend me.
Your mother does, yeah.
It's going to be a closed casket for that reason.
Karen Goldman, who used to be Danny Ozark, used to do a Thursday night show at the Laugh House, like Laugh Away Thursdays. It was actually a good time. It was a mix of white guys and black guys. Mm-hmm. But look at me, when I used to go in there, I it was all urban black guys there, but I had to break the ice saying, I walk up and I go, how many people here think I'm a lost German tourist, lost on South Street, or I'm here to give an estimate on the roof? Then you break the ice. But if they didn't like you, they would make that noise.
Yeah.
And, brutal.
That was a rough place, man.
It's like being on the bus. Yeah, when a black crowd's not feeling you, it feels a lot like you're on a bus and you stood up way before your stop.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
That's a lot of just nice school bag energy, you know.
It's a shame. Like we were talking earlier about like comedy. If they would have found their niche, like Ed McGonigal would have been funny on a
he's the
show.
man.
He writes topical stuff from like a worker man's viewpoint.
Speaking of puppets.
Dude, he's a. Where would
He's
you
in the bag.
Yeah. Where do you put him in show business? We've talked about Ed McGonigal on the show before, but he's a genetic mutant.
It's funny. He's
4'11".
And he's looking.
Has a squeak. He's an old Irish miniature man in a Jeff cab.
He's looked the same for his whole life, and he started off with Paul F. Tompkins, Todd Glass, Adam McKay in Philadelphia, and they all liked him, but he's got like a real
Gambling problem.
bad luck schlep rock, like a bad like.
I saw him get chased by the dog the one day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Woof woof. I wonder. Sometimes I wonder what happens. Like when I don't know. Like I think about people that I started comedy with, right? And I think about how like I don't have much to show, right? And then I think about all the people who have literally zero to show, and there's just no driving force to quit. Like you can work like temp jobs and do open mics in a small market. Like this isn't New York. This you know. You stick around here forever, and it just doesn't pan out. And I just wonder, like, how many of these people are just going to snap and just go on a stabbing spree?
Have there been points in each of your careers where you were just like, all right, I'm tired. I'm done with this?
I'm not. It's weird, and you're allowed to say that. Sometimes you think when you read comedy books, I took anything anywhere. I used to do strip clubs and blah blah. But there is a point. Sometimes it's a chore. You're just punching a clock. Like I make little jokes all the time on Twitter about. I'm looking for my weekend. I'm driving an 80-year-old prop comic to a VFW on the Pine Barrens, and it's always a good time. But like, I work. I have a physical job, and because it's such a pain. I got load, unload. He pays me for it and everything, but it's just like I'm glad to comedy to write jokes. You write down your pocket, right? Funny. Here I'm a driver. I'm going to the what do you call that? The build up around the actual show is a ball buster sometimes. Right.
Well, that's precisely why we're not just like on the road constantly doing these fucking dad meat shows. Like every show so far has been a fucking awesome time, but like the amount of effort that goes into like promoting and selling it and shit like that, and then on top of like the travel and doing everything ourselves, it's like, okay, great first effort. Let's reorganize, see how we can get more like bang for our buck from our effort. You know,
and I think part of why it's fun, why that was fun, and will be fun when we plan the next series of shows, because like that's supplementing something.
Yeah.
We're not just like endlessly or aimlessly chasing something. This is like we had a ton of fun doing this each week, and then we know that all these people live in all these different cities. And it's like, oh, let's go hang out with them and do this.
Yeah, it
and
kills
we're
me
gonna
when
have
someone's
fun.
like, you guys got to come to fucking, the Northwest or something. I'm just like, I would do it right now.
I'll tell you what kind of helped. That was neat. Really, like the past 10, 15 years, Chip did it as when the improv show things would come up. Not improv, but they'd be do your own sketch shows. And Chip used to host hilarious ones because you could do characters and not write jokes for Levittown people. Stuff that's quirky and unique.
I think it's important to diversify.
Yes.
Not for everybody, but for me, like if I just did stand up, which I love, am I ever going to make it big doing stand up? It's like, what's the end game with that? But it's like I love writing. I love doing sketch stuff. I love doing video stuff. I love, podcasts. So, so I think there's definitely something to be said about putting a bunch of irons in the fire and just to mentally, so you're not just doing that one thing over and over again.
But Chip, you've got, a wife, right?
Yeah.
Kensil, you've got a family business. Like you guys have actual personal lives.
That's something else. That's something else. I'm not saying I'm like blaming.
What I'm talking about is people that I started with, right? They were younger, early 20s. They never ever pursued a career path. Not that I'm saying that like you need to do that, but like they never built a personal life. Their entire social circle is people from open mics.
Yeah.
And then in the when you get into like the second decade of that, when do you start like taking a look around and going like, oh boy?
Well, because like even me
right.
We're kind of in the same boat, but like if I'm not really doing open mics right now, but like when I do like a local show, it's like, oh, it's these fucking kids that I'm doing shows with.
I actually feel relieved when I go to a show in Philly, because I never go out. When I go to a show in Philly and I don't know who anyone is and they seem like children to me, I feel kind of relieved.
Yeah. Why do you feel relieved?
Because
it makes me a little on
edge. Because they've flushed out the other people that I would have been seeing who are just like dragging their heels and not going anywhere.
Yeah,
I would 1,000,000% rather meet like the fucking do-rag and deer tag dudes at a show.
Oh, they're the best, yeah.
Than like a face that I knew from doing mics 11 years ago.
But that's the thing that like and that's great that they're doing it. It's just like, oh wow, but like I feel like we have some other things going on too, but like I see people who don't have other things going on and they're still just sticking around.
Oh, that's nightmare fuel.
Playing in that, and just like, what are you?
You're right, and plus it sounds like you're like a writer. Like you have you have kids, you have your life experiences. You have more than just doing other than comedy. You have a life then comedy. It's for opinions. I saw something crazy happen today. Yeah, a lot of times you hear other comedians, their whole life's comedies. They talk about so I did a show the other night. And this guy's in the audience. Real people can't really relate to that.
Yeah.
Oh, and it sucks, and it's never funny.
Yeah.
Or you become successful and you start talking about like the kind of watches that you buy and shit like that.
So many people I know, they love Gabriel Iglesias.
Fluffy.
His first special was kind of funny. When I watched the last special, he talks about, so I'm in this limo with my friends, right?
Yeah.
And it was all about his life now.
Yeah.
And then if he was probably sitting there, he'd probably go, well, it's true. That is my life. I go, yeah, but everybody can't relate to that. But hey, fine. All right. All right.
I don't know. I'm torn on all that shit. I have no vision on it. I have no access to it. And I guess maybe it'd be foolish for me to get tripped up on it. I think that's why I get kind of, I don't know. I repeat myself a lot about the shit that I care about, but dude, I have to focus on caring about the right shit, or I get kind of like confused about what's important. You know what I mean?
I sometimes I think too. I do like a lot of things. Comedy. I don't say no to a lot of shit. like this is gonna sound like a philosophical, like it fills my time. I don't have a girlfriend right now, all right? And people, my friends go, yeah, you probably get laid after those shows. I go, how can I do that? I got to take an 80-year-old prop comic back to South Philly. wait here, all right? And put like blindfolds on the puppets so they don't look at me as I relate. But they, my life is that, and like I need to.
Could you see yourself getting serious with a lady right now?
Yeah, I lived with a girl for like 12 years, and
Was this the Stevie Nicks impersonator?
yeah, I helped raise her kids and stuff like that. And but when that went south, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But it's I'd love to. As you get older, like our friend Mike, the extra bus driver, used to say, "I don't want to die alone," and he would pick up old bags after comedy shows, and he didn't care, and it was always a mess. So finally, one night, me and him went out, and I saw an older lady. She's real nice too at the Nick's Roast Beef on Common Avenue. And I started talking to her. He goes, "Do you mind if I step in?" I go, "No, I don't care, right?" And he's been going out with her for like 7 years.
Aww.
And she's real nice.
No, I think we should find Kensil a wife by October.
But I get people say that shit. Can you meet a girl at one of the comedy shows?
Of course you can.
I'm at a VFW in like Berlin, New Jersey. And there's the girls I meet like, you're fucking pissed, man. I pissed my fucking self off. Really? And I pull out the engagement ring box. Like, do you ever have like, you phony man?
Yo, hon, not for nothing, but your jokes made me laugh so hard. I fucking squirty, dude.
Yo, I owe this club $85 for ruining this chair with squirt. You ever seen somebody ruin a fucking seat with squirt? Well, you did that, buddy, all right? You got to pay half now. You're taking me to fucking Nick's Roast Beef, all right?
Do you ever hear a girl do that too? They go, you see a squirt and they just piss. Like, thanks for ruining the illusion. That's my Santa's no Santa Claus.
Damn, dude, I thought I was over this yeast infection, but you made my fucking cooter itch.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah, they're going to have to set this fucking chair on fire thanks to you. Nah, but seriously, can you give me a ride back to Roosevelt Boulevard?
I had some stupid joke starting out about going to a Flatchester strip joint and trying to give her $1. I kept falling on the ground. And their nickname was like Scrambled Eggs or whatever. But I was at the room where Chip was at, the Comedy Works, and this really hot Flatchester woman comes to me. And I thought she was like interested in me. And she walks right to my face, and I thought she was like, "You're so funny." She didn't. She goes, "I think what you said was offensive to Flatchester women," right? And so I said what you're supposed to say. I'm sorry you're offended. I didn't apologize, right?
You didn't back down.
And her boyfriend comes over, Hammerhead Harry, New Jersey Shore, but Bucks County. Like he was like a Jersey Shore guy, muscles. He was a problem over here, and the manager, Kaplan, comes over and goes, "Get out of here!" and like separated them. But she was upset because the girl was a 10, but she was flat-chested. And I said a stupid joke that wasn't real.
Dude. Well, I mean, that's okay. I'll say this: I've been exposed to the fact on Twitter that women are still locked in eternal battle over Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. They are still every day. They are still re-arguing who's right and who's wrong in Amber Heard. And I've seen this through like people have been like favorited other tweets. What's going on? Did we crash? The camera. I'll explain this over audio. Can they still hear us?
Check 1, check 2.
All right. They don't need a video for this part.
We can take our shirts off.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my meat out real quick. Hold on. What do you guys think of this? Right? I mean, I know it's hot
No wonder
here,
why your
but
back hurts.
I'm getting a little bit of hang time, even for this amount of heat. You know what I mean? All right. Well, thank you guys for recognizing
They're
that.
blaming
Man.
Jake for it, by the way.
So you're saying about
So all right. So every day I'm seeing like unconnected tweets. Like they're not in my timeline, but I see people favoriting other tweets. I see them retweeting shit. And like, dude, women are locked in battle. They've picked teams and they're fighting over it. But the currency that they're using in this battle. Hey, we're back. What's up? Sorry, I had to put my mute away. When you see a woman recognize another woman making a point, it's yes, like you go, girl, followed by a compliment about their looks.
all right.
And when they think that you're full of shit, it's you obviously didn't read the article
Right.
and your highlights are bad. So dude, the
I get what you're saying.
there is still a battle raging inside of women. There's a primal battle inside of women. And it all comes down to figuring out where you are in the attractiveness hierarchy. And so you did not see a 10 with a flat chest. You saw a 10 minus. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying.
In her own mind.
Oh yeah, if she was nice to me, she's, she'd been a 10 all the way.
Yeah, and I just don't know. I don't know how much their actual appearance figures into any of it either, because it's women rating it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if a woman were to argue with a man about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, it would just be like, you are an annoying bitch. I don't care.
I know, like when he was younger, he was like the cute crybaby and 21 Jump Street, but like he's a weirdo. He's in weird movies. He's
True.
a weirdo.
True.
And people go, oh, but the Pirates of the Caribbean movie,
They're fun.
he mumbles. I like them. They're his like antics, but like.
It's like being on a ride.
Yeah, is he going to jump out of the screen and fuck him in the aisle and jump back on screen? Like he's not. He's a character. It's like watching the Philly Fanatic.
That should be included
Gritty.
in the 3D version,
I
John.
don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense to me. But it's like the amount of like what do you call it, value put in fakeness. Like that's like Johnny Depp's not. He's not. What do you call it? Like he's not really the
Jack
Captain
Sparrow.
Jerk. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But
He's
unfortunately,
really Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
He can't be both fellas.
My brother has some retired lady. She helps clean his house a little bit, like $30. But she goes, "Oh, I see everything he's in." Like Willy Wonka. Do you think a woman's like going to? Oh, I'm going to home and touch myself playing Willy Wonka. He's
Probably.
a fucking weirdo.
Unfortunately.
Michael Jackson.
I could very easily imagine that.
Yeah,
no?
those schnozberries are schnozberries.
Dude, that's what you should say to one of these ladies you eat out at the movie.
Yeah, just snozzberries. They taste like snozzberries.
Yeah, no, I can see. We need weird guys.
You have a favorite weird guy?
Ooh, it was. You know what? I used to be a big Steve Buscemi guy before he was in Boardwalk Empire. When he was actually a true blue weirdo.
You didn't like what he did in
No, I
Boardwalk?
thought he was great in Boardwalk, but I think it kind of made him
Legitimized.
a
He
little bit
went a little more
Yeah.
mainstream.
Yeah, he got a little bit of conventionally handsome after
Yeah.
that, which is still bizarre to me because he looks like a fucking Looney Tune. But as far as weird guys now,
You mean actors or anywhere?
just
Anybody.
any weird guy.
Any milkman you know?
I like Emo Phelps. Like,
Emo
that's
Phelps
all-
is the best.
Yeah.
That's an OG weird guy.
You know what's funny? When he was at Helium, I went down for I saw like 2 shows. Half the audience, they were like younger people. They were like going to the bar getting drinks. I thought he was hilarious, but it's weird. Some people were legendary, but he wasn't their cup of tea. Like, and it was a shame. Like we mentioned Philly earlier, like Paul F. Tompkins, absolutely just a humorous, hilarious, natural personality, funny. But like second show on Friday, second show on Saturday, with all the drunken people in there.
It's just people looking for something to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they want to hear they want to see a fat guy talking about getting stuck on a water slide, or all right, all right, or if they I got what the double D breast stands for, the damn, right, right, but.
I gotta be honest, I would go see this.
Stand-up comedy do be like that.
Chip, we love like watching Paul Tompkins. He's funny,
Yeah.
just natural. But that's why he does theaters now or does like other podcasts. It's a chore in comedy clubs. Like you a bunch of guys with unique personalities. But like
When we went to the Gillian Keeves taping, they did that thing where you had to put your phone in a
Yonder bag.
pencil case.
Yeah.
And I think that made such a fucking difference. It was crazy. Because I even myself, if I'm at like a movie, I'll check my phone every once in a while. If I'm at a stand-up show, I'll be on my phone. I think getting rid of people's phones is like the jam. That's my new favorite shit.
Yeah, because everybody's in it together. Then there's no turning back.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. There should be a way you should just coat the walls with something that kills your phone. Kills the signal.
that's I used to hate going to some movie theaters in Northeast Philadelphia because you're in the middle of the movie watching and a Rolling Rock bottle falls down next to your feet. It's the one in Franklin Mills Mall. Like never again.
No, that's one of my. Oh, actually, if I go to the movies, I'm looking for a bad experience. I used to go to the Riverview, which has been closed.
Yeah.
To a degree.
I love the Franklin Mills movie theater. I used to go to the Orleans 8 every
Yes.
week.
Oh,
The
no.
Orleans 8 was a shit show. This was in the back of a strip mall. Actually, it was in the back of like a strip
strip
mall
club.
district. Yeah. I mean, just
My
bottom of the barrel living quarters.
Well, and they're all getting weird. Ben from Ben Mayer just last night, because he asked me if I want to go see Jaws, which you and I went to see Jaws. Remember we went to see the talk about Jaws, and it was playing in Cherry Hill last night.
Oh,
and
cool.
he wanted to see if I could go. I couldn't, and he took his son. They turned him away at the door. They're like, "Sorry, we canceled all the shows because teenagers were fighting in the theaters."
And he went.
Like, I don't think it's the Jaws one specifically, but there was a bunch of teenagers fighting, so they're just like, I think they just canceled the shows.
He went tonight. He got
okay.
right, but honestly,
He beat the fuck out of a kid.
it was him. I saw the movie Married to the Mob at the Orleans 8. They were talking about, right?
Yeah.
It was on a Sunday night, and there was two people who would bet on the Washington Generals in the audience who didn't like the movie, and they threw a ball bearing the size of a golf ball of silver at the screen and threw a giant orange drink on it. And then they go, "Fuck this!" And they walked up the side fire exit, and Sudsy, our comedian friend, he was a usher then, and he goes, "Those fuckers!" And they wrecked the movie screen. They threw a ball bearing through it, and he goes, "That night I had to clean up. We had to go back here and duct tape this screen back together because some movies I think it projects from behind the screen.
Yeah.
So you had to get this white mesh.
I mean, that's like a $10,000 repair bill at a place that charged $2 for movies, and it still had a hard. They'd still shut down.
And he told me the next day, that was on Sunday night, on Monday, he went to the theaters to make sure it was all right. He goes, I got there early in the day before they start showing movies at like 6:30 or 7:30. Got there early. He goes, I walk into the theater to see it, and here the theater manager was watching a porno movie. He put it on the big screen. He goes, shut the fucking door, get out of here. But he was watching a 40-foot by 40-foot porno movie.
Oh, king, man. I would love to do that with some of my movies.
It was started when they were... Some movies were released on... It was a porno movie watching. I don't know how you did it. Porno movie at the end.
That's something that I'd like to... I am happy to know that that situation arose. I'm happy to live in the reality where the fucking...
Men don't have to resort to that.
The owner of the dive theater was whacking it to a 40-foot fucking hairy pussy. I mean, it was on a spool.
Yeah. He turned the Orleans 8 into the Orleans bait.
I saw Action Jackson at Leo Mall with Carl Weathers, Paul Creed, and I was with my friend who's a Civil War reenactor, and he had a large popcorn, and I go, can I have some? And he goes, yeah, I was giving him like Twizzlers, and when he wasn't looking, I accidentally put a whole mouthful of 5 pieces chewed up bubble yum in the bottom of the bucket, and put the rest of it back on. All right, I gave it to him. So we're watching the movies, half an hour goes by, and all of a sudden I hear him going, you go, you think that's fucking funny? I'll get you for this.
You gummed up his works?
You got a mouthful of golf ball size.
You are a stinker, man.
Or bubble, or bubblicious. Hubba bubble gum.
Have you heard the story of the time? I just told this story on Saturday.
Somebody asked you to tell it again.
Have you heard the story of when I pranked Mike with gay porn at the hotel?
No.
I just told this on Saturday night. I'm so sorry. I'm going to tell you the story just because I want you to know about this. So we go to this place that is in M. It's the only hotel in Manhattan that we can afford to stay at.
Yes.
It's got like almost capsule-sized rooms. They're tiny.
Yes.
Okay. They've got comfy beds, clean showers, and a television mounted on the wall directly at the foot of the bed, right?
Complimentary pornography, too.
Complimentary pornography. I'd stayed there, I think, once before, and I knew this. And the only way to control the television is with an iPad mini that's on a docking station on the end table next to your bed, okay? So Mike and I are going to check into this hotel. We get 2 rooms next door to each other. And Mike's never stayed there before. I have. So I have secret knowledge. Or I can't remember exactly how I found out about the iPad before you. I either stayed there before you.
I went to the shower. Well, no, I think you had this idea before I went to the shower.
So I must have stayed there by my... Anyway.
So you sync it up.
We have an information deficit. Mike doesn't know about this iPad that controls the television, and I do. I get into my room first, put my shit down, and as Mike is getting into his room, I go, let me see if the rooms are identical. And I go in with him, and he's putting down his jacket and his school bag and shit, and I swipe his iPad, and I pocket it in my coat. And I'm so sorry I'm telling this for the second time this week. And I put the iPad mini in my coat, and I go out, and I go, all right, well, I guess they're about the same, I'll let you get cleaned up and shit. And I go out into the hallway, and I pop open the iPad and I scroll down to the pornography section and I go into the gay porn section and I find a movie called It Happened in Ibiza, and it's got two handsome fellas getting after it with each other. Okay, so I put the movie on.
Bussin'.
I scroll about halfway through it in the progress bar, and then I crank the volume on his television up to 100. I wasn't aware of this at the time, but I'm glad it was this way. There were no buttons on the actual television to adjust the volume. And it was mounted in the wall with the cabling, so you couldn't even access the power cable to turn off the television. So, it sounds like Mike is fighting off 2 attackers. From outside the room in the hallway, it sounds like Mike is fending off 2 attackers. And just like, oh yeah, and slurp noises and shit like that. And it's probably on for 10 seconds, and Mike is yelling, Timm! And he opens, I swear to God, it's 10 seconds of going by, and he opens the door, and the mattress is off the bed, the covers are everywhere. He's looking for the television remote, and if he looks at the end table, all he sees is that they give you an iPhone dock. You know what I mean? He would never have guessed that it was an iPad.
I don't think you're being generous enough, because the volume at which this gay porn blasted is probably reserved for torturing terrorists at Guantanamo. It was fucking ear splitting. It was so bad that I consider throwing the comforter over the TV because I did not know how to make it stop.
And he's going, Timm!
That's the funniest thing ever.
And then he opens he busts out of the door, and he goes, dude, are you doing this? and I look at Mike and I say, Mike, how could I possibly be doing this right now? And that was all the credibility I had to buy, and he's in such a panic already that he doesn't examine anything about the situation.
It got to the point where I had to call the front desk.
Really?
And
you did that?
So I mean, just on the surface, like, look at us.
Also, when he opens the door, the volume is amplified down the echoey hallway from the elevator door down to room fucking 199.
Dude, and on top of this, I got to try to convince the guy at the front desk that the 2 men who look like us that just checked into this Lower East Side hotel at fucking 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. I got to convince him that this is accidentally on my TV.
He's shouting over the gay porn. I don't know how to explain this, but my TV's blasting gay porn.
I thought you were going to say, all the other rooms got it too. On the same.
So,
well, you should just throw out that TV and get a new one.
I don't know how to say this, but my TV's being a real Bennigan's waiter right now.
So they tell him you have to use the iPad.
Sir, my TV's not married.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have a wife. The Wi-Fi.
So they say you have to turn off with the iPad. He goes, what iPad? And they go, you should have an iPad there, and there's no iPad. And I'm like, where would even need an iPad? I don't even know.
What is this?
So they have to send someone up.
You let it go this long?
Dude, of course. I mean, dude, I'm letting it ride.
And it's a man who probably didn't speak a lick of English.
Right.
Like, he just knows how to fix everything.
I don't see this part because I say, dude, whatever happens next, I don't want to be here for Mike. I'm gonna get some fresh air outside. So I leave Mike sitting on the corner of his bed with the loudest gay pornography of all time. I go downstairs and I
just have to assume there's not a lot of quiet gay porn.
No, these dudes are fucking horses.
Yeah.
They are earning their keep in this movie.
Yeah.
So I go outside and I'm just waiting for Mike to call me, and either the jig is up or like they don't believe me. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And I think I miss a call from him. I can't remember exactly what happens next, but I wait until a couple minutes goes by and I go back up and the guy couldn't help. Tell me what happened from your end.
I
after
actually
the guy
don't
comes
remember.
up.
I think he was maybe the one who told me that the TV. No, it was like the person at the front desk who told me the TV was iPad controlled. But I was like, there is no iPad here. And the guy came up and like, he couldn't do anything.
You can do it. It was all
There was nothing, and I'm trying to tell him, like, I don't know what language he speaks, but like I'm trying to convey through action that I don't want this on my TV, but I can't make it stop.
You're pointing to the wedding ring. I like women, and
I don't have one.
Oh my God! So what happened? How did it resolve? You finally broke. You said, "Gotcha."
I put my face through the TV.
What was the actual resolution?
I don't remember.
Dude.
I think you. might
Oh,
have come
okay,
back
okay.
in.
This is how I remember it. And please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to nail down this story. I'm going to name my special gay porn prank. I come back up, and I hand Mike the iPad. And there's a combination of fury and joy in his eyes. Because he instantly recognizes
I appreciate a little stinker.
how good this is. But I think what happened was this guy just throws his hands up and goes, and I think they're about to send up like a supervisor or like a replacement iPad.
Yeah, I was just.
So I give him the
me
iPad.
Gusta. No me gusta.
He's relieved that he can turn off the gay porn if it wasn't already like rebooted or anything like that. And but I leave the room, and now Mike has to explain that like I found the iPad. My bad.
They still think he's a.
So now like there's two guys walking around this hotel that think that this fucking fat pervert's just trying to make them watch gay porn with him.
And truth be told, like this was like in the middle of the pandemic, so we may have been the only guest in this hotel.
We almost got monkeypox.
And this the reason why we got the hotel is
Just by
because
watching it, you got it.
nothing. It was at a point where you couldn't hang out anywhere in New York. Like you might have been able
Right.
to like get something and leave, but like you couldn't sit down anywhere. So we had a couple hours to kill before our train. So we were just like, all right, this is maybe $100, and we'll stay here for the next 3 hours until it's time to leave.
3 weeks ago, I have a friend who's a cop in Philly, and cops have a real dark sense of humor. And
I've seen the videos.
yeah, cops. The cops will have the black briefcases they could take to work with. He's like, well, one of his cop buddies threw a suction cup dildo, dick, complete shape, truck nuts, everything. The banana had everything right with a suction cup, and he threw it in his briefcase because cops. So we went over to my friend Al, the Civil War reenactor in Milkman's house. All right, and my friend the cop goes, "Watch this," and he went into my friend Al's bedroom and threw it under the blanket. We had like a barbecue. So at 9:30 at night, I got a phone call. You fucking assholes! He goes, "What if my daughter was stepped over and it was in her room there?" He found the dildo, and he goes, "I'm gonna get that our cop friend back." So last Sunday, we go to a barbecue at his house, and he makes pulled pork and all that shit. And my friend the cop drove over. I was the passenger. We leave, and my friend Al comes over and goes, "Hey, I got you some extra stuff. Here's some cake and stuff." Right? We leave, and we're driving in my friend's new Suzuki SUV. People are looking at us, right? Here he stuck the dildo on the driver's side door, right? And it's flopping all over. And we drive up Route 130 to the Burlington-Bristol Bridge, right? And it was a Sunday, so people come back from the shore. If you go, what the hell's on the side of that car there? It's flesh-colored, throbbing, right? And we go across the Burlington-Bristol Bridge, and there's an African-American gentleman goes, "Hey, man, you got something on your car there." Right? And he goes, "Oh." Okay. We had to pull over him. He unsuction cup it, and he goes, "That motherfucker." He goes, "I'm a cop." He goes, "What if I would have gotten in trouble for this?" He goes, "I have an unblemished record," and he retires with honors except for that incident with the dildo.
What if I shot the black guy that told me about the dildo on my car?
I told him it was a fish lure, right? So he comes home and he goes, "I'm going to get him back," and he goes, "Do me a favor to me. Can you throw this out?" So he drops me off at my house, and I get the dildo, and it has a suction cup on the end because women, they're so horned out, they put them on walls. And
They're like fatheads. They're lady fatheads.
Yeah, right. So I get it and I throw it in my kitchen trash can in my kitchen. I forgot. Well, when my parents passed away, my mom has these twins from the Soviet Union. Clean her out. It's like $50. You just straighten my house up. I go to work. I'm like, fuck. It's right on top of the trash can. They're gonna think it's like a Slacks Hoagie Shack roll, but until you see it, you can tell it's a dildo. I'm like, fuck, and because they put throw the trash and shit out, and I have no idea what happened, but the trash bag was out in the trash. But the Soviets had to say like, the puppet man had the dildo, or how they talk. Oh, you know what's funny too? I have a bedroom, a spare bedroom. I have 3 or 4 bedrooms. One I have my guitars in, and I have like a couple puppets up on
Puppet chamber.
Puppet chamber, right?
Puppet guitars.
I come home and she made the bed in that room, even though the bed didn't have to be made because no one goes there anyway, right? And she put one of the puppets on the pillow. And they're probably like, she's probably like, this guy's a weirdo. In Russia, we had a name for this guy, Cuckoo Bats or some weird shit, right. But I almost had Soviet women. So the dildo affected 3 people, him, me, and I got involved in it.
It's a real monkey's dildo.
Yeah, we watch adult romance videos too. You see the new stunt now where the guy's doing it and he sticks his finger in the girl's mouth. That's like worse than like just. That's like worse than that's like worse than like.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah, that's because you're only an actress, but have another actor. Come here, you.
What about when a guy like steps on her head?
No, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's not good either.
I don't like to when the guy chokes her. I don't like like that because women don't like that. Well,
What's your ideal porno to watch in the theater?
me?
Yeah.
I like that. Like there's a. You see Riley Reid just bought a $5 million mansion.
Did she just have a baby too?
No, that's Lana Rhodes.
Okay.
She's a gorgeous, and she supposedly had a baby by Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
That's rough.
But there's a Russian adult romance star named Tracy Loves. She's perfect. No fakeness. No like that. That sucks. You watch an adult romance video and the girl flops backwards and you see the 2 scars. Like fuck.
That was so prevalent for a long time. That kind of made it tough to enjoy anything.
The other
John-
Jessa Rhodes.
Have you met any of these women at the Exotica convention?
Yes, it's coming up in November. It's.
I'd like to go with you if you want
Oh
to
my
go.
god, it's ridiculously fun. You know, it's funny too. You go, you see a lot of comedians there. You see, it's not like 19.
Here's a bit. They're all carrying around fake microphones.
Man on the street, man on the street.
There's no batteries in there. That's a garage door opener. They have. You go to it. It's not like 1970s. What's it? Midnight Cowboy.
Right.
Times Square. It's a high-end Star Trek convention. Only there are people selling porno shit.
Virgil's still there.
Virgil from $1 Million Man. I saw him at a comic book convention, even though I had nothing to do with
I've
that.
seen him at every comic book convention.
But surprise! I did.
I saw him at a Wendy's once.
It's just one finger removed from the patented move.
But they what do you call it? A
He
lot
was
of
signing junior bacon cheeseburgers for $20.
a lot of the adult romance film honeymoon stars. The women they're much smaller in real life.
Do you find them to be pleasant in disposition, or are they rough around the edges?
No, look really like shit. Stormy Daniels.
Oh no,
She's,
really?
No, they're all smallish. Girl next story looks. There's a real hot blonde named Jessa Rhodes.
I don't think I know. Her.
She's, but some of these girls are like, oh my god, they're gorgeous.
Who's the nicest one that you met?
Oh, I can't think of her name.
Ruth Buzzy.
Ruth Buzzy. But I went there with Mike Dexter, the bus driver's son.
Mm-hmm.
I like a girl with a nice body, and she believes in epiladies. That's a razor for ladies in the 70s. But Mike's son, he likes doughy goth girls. Like I'm not making pornos. I work in the vape shop. Like he likes a.
I can see Mike's pulse in his temples right now.
Go on.
He
You
likes,
don't say.
the girls he like no, and he likes them.
Yeah, pigs. People are into pigs right now.
And like these
Yeah,
ones,
pigs are unking right now, brother.
it's funny too. No one wants the men's adult romance stars autographs.
I saw you got Evan Stone's.
Well, the men walk through and they pose for a picture for free.
Oh.
But Evan Stone, who's in like 1 million movies, and he should get a body part lift. His 2 boys are hanging way too low. And not that I look, but
I like that. That reminds me of like an alpha lion.
but the other guy,
I respect that. Yeah.
the other guys there that all. It's weird. Like it's like when you watch adult romance video, you're not gay, but you want the guy to be in shape. You don't want some schlub.
Don't want a bald guy.
Yeah, or unless it's Johnny Sims, the guy with the shaved head.
No, none of them. Don't show me any bald guys.
But he
Oh, I'm a Buck Angel man. I like him.
they walk through and there's guys like, yo man, it's like meeting like their superstar.
Yeah, see all these chicks, dude. Fuck them.
John, do you think Evan Stone is approachable enough to tell him he might need a ball bag lift?
Oh my god, he'd probably kill you.
Or if he would come on Dad Meat.
Yes.
He's all gung ho, and also too, he's short.
No.
You
But
watch
he's like a jacked guy, though, right?
but the camera's always like looking at him. He thinks he's like 6'3" or something. I bet he's 5'9". But there's a black guy there, Shorty. Something like he's a short guy, but he's got a wiffle ball bat, and like Shorty McGee, something like that.
Okay.
And he's not a handsome guy either. But he's got well endowed.
Chip, is there any chance we can get you to go to Exotica with us?
Yeah, I'll go as a like I can be a designated driver.
Just wait in the parking lot the whole time.
Yeah.
But there's people selling oils and whips and chains, massage booths, and they have what's that? OnlyFans videos, booths, and and some of these girls they're so beautiful they could be models. What are they doing this romance videos for?
I don't think there's any money in modeling.
No.
I think there's just a lot of like carrot dangling, and then you
Then
just
you gotta
end
sit
up
on
in
the
porn
carrot.
anyway. Yeah, a carrot with a suction cup on the end.
That's where now it makes it seem like I'm Victor Von Porno level, right? I only went because I got
Victor Von
Porno.
right. That he's got Dr. Doom. His name's Victor Von Doom. So, but whenever I have a comment, it's always Victor Von Soccer or Victor Von Porno.
Victor Von Coom.
But you see, it's like you're at a boat show. Only it's all porno shit. Yeah.
You break the bottle over the lady's forehead.
There she blows. Because it works for both things.
I know, too. You were a bad boy on that
Oh,
couch, brother.
man.
But
Oh my God.
and you do see you see a handful of people from comedy walk and they're usually creepazoids, like not.
Guys like us.
No, we got.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got to get Evan soon.
That's why there's another guy named Lee Stone, another big bodybuilder guy,
I don't know him.
and he's got a. Well, anyway, but
Alan in the chat, are you confirming what I asked John about Riley Reid having a kid? Because I'm pretty sure
does
she had a kid recently.
I know Lana Rhodes did, and they look alike. They have like real pretty blue eyes, and she's just gorgeous. Riley Reid may have, she may have. I don't know how.
That's tough, man. Because
It stinks when you watch adult romance videos because it starts off with the girl it's just a girl alone, sexy posing, maybe doing stuff to herself. The next one, she has a girl. The next time, see Riley Reid in her first scene.
Her first anal.
Yeah,
I remember that stuff.
And then it's anal. And then you go, whatever happened to that girl 3 years ago? And you see her with the Utah Jazz in a hotel
that's
room.
where the money is, though.
Yeah. And
Butt
the-
stuff and black dudes.
Yeah, like there's like Bukkake 3000. Like with Riley Reid did one. It's like, holy shit. Like she, like a ice cream truck tipped over on her. Fuck, where's the girl next door? Now she's freaking got hit with white paintballs. It's gross. Like she looks like an MAB store, mixing thing.
Like a Honda they got left under an oak tree.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah. It's exactly what it looks like. It's like holy shit. Splatter.
Yeah, he's just checking
splatter.
off your cum bucket list.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think about Bukkake? Are you in any of that weird shit?
Yeah, I like it every now and again. I watched one today. It was a Russian film where they were doing that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about gangbang stuff? You into that?
Sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. I got to be honest. And sometimes, like I'll look up lovemaking.
Okay.
That's nice.
Sometimes I want to see something nice. Like you get, I don't know. There's days where you want to watch Fast and Furious, then there's other days where you want to watch Bridges of Madison County.
Which one's which?
Oh man, I guess you could drive Fast and Furious through Madison County.
You know what's not good? It might sound funny when we first look at it, but it's not. The parody ones. Like I rented one called
Nail and Palin.
No, yeah, like that, or Not the Brady Bunch, or I saw one called Pee-Pee's Big Misadventure instead of Pee-wee's Big. It was I think it was like
It
Evan
was still Paul Rubens.
Oh man, just imagine like you go into the theater and that happens to be the day that Pee Wee's jacking off in there. Would
that's
you?
the best.
Would you say something?
It was the day my innocence died.
Oh my
That was
God.
the
I
end
remember
of
you
my
spoke of
childhood.
that.
Remember those jokes too? But he saw a movie called Nurse Nancy.
Oh no.
Too specific.
I know.
That
but,
paints a picture in my mind, and I don't.
But
Something you like to squirt on us, Nurse Nancy? Care for a stick of cum?
people forget too. Fred Willard got locked up a year
Yeah.
before he
Yeah.
died for
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
I think you might have brought me past that theater when we went to Los Angeles together.
There's I don't know. It's but the parody ones, nah.
Not for you.
And one that was
I feel like that would be right up your alley.
No, the one that wasn't bad was the Scooby Doo one because it has that Velma with the nerdy girl. And
Oh wow, I didn't watch that.
But they scissor things.
I don't
they
like
have for
anything high
Scooby?
Yeah,
production.
who's Scooby? Like that, yeah.
It was what's funny. It was a guy playing Scooby, like just the dog chain.
Was that produced by Bang Mystery Machine?
Zoinks!
Fake Mystery Machine.
Snoopy Snatch.
Wow.
Snoopy
Wow.
Snatch. But
Nuts.
no,
This is just wild
And
stuff.
some of them they spend tons of money on. There's like not the X-Men or the X-rated men, like the X-Men movies, and they spent a budget on it, like $1 million. Like that. These adult romance videos were shot in like rooms over in an afternoon. But holy crap!
That's why I like the guerrilla stuff. I like amateur stuff. No frills, just doing it because I got to pay bills.
Mike also likes to watch it sitting behind plexiglass, banging on it.
Yeah, I
Throwing
like
his shit.
both spellings of gorilla.
I went to the horror convention with Eric Todd
Okay.
and the famous movie called Fright Night, a vampire movie from the 80s. People love it. It's a great fun movie. The guy from Herman's Head was a star.
Yep.
Marcy Darcy from Married with Children.
Married with Children.
Who in real life she enjoys
And
leather.
is
soft.
Roddy McDowell in it?
Yeah, he plays the horror show host.
Yeah.
John, what did she like?
Flannel, softball, Indigo Girl. Right. She hates.
That's Lilith unfair of you.
Yeah. Very. Yeah. And but there's a third guy, his best friend, who looks like young Jack Nicholson in the movie. They're teens, and a vampire moves next door and he's killing women. And then you got to try and fight him.
Evil Ed.
Evil Ed. So Evil Ed gets bitten by the vampire, and they eventually have to kill him. Anyway, so we go to a horror convention, and there's the stars of the movie all there, and it's Roddy McDowell was in heaven now, but all the other stars, and Eric goes up to this male star from Herman's Head, and he goes, "Hey, I heard Evil Ed's a fag," and the guy goes, "Oh, I don't know about that." He goes, "Yeah," and here in real life, after Fright Night was made. He made that. He was in Fraternity Vacation and Heaven Help Us, and that was it. He made the next 20 years all male adult romance male
no
movies,
way.
right? Porno films, like hardcore ones, like semen.
It happened in Ibiza.
Like hardcore porno, and
Yeah, somebody's in my room blasting Fright Night.
well, Eric asked the star. I heard he's the FAG word, like, even though I said it anyway, and the guy was like, I can't answer that sentence. And he goes, "Oh, he's right there. Ask him." And here he was there.
Signing his butthole.
And supposedly, like,
Who do I make this out to?
supposedly he found religion. Or he straightened out.
Oh man.
He was putting brown lipstick on his butthole and then pressing an envelope to it.
Follow your bliss.
Keep reaching for the stars.
I actually have it in this bag over here.
John, there's another one coming up in September in Hunt Valley, Maryland.
I saw that too. She was going to be like a huge ton of
I didn't
stars.
see who was going to be at this one, but
There's one Halloween weekend in Parsippany, New Jersey called Chiller Theater. And it started off as horror, like, right? Now it's all, you can see
everything.
Freddie Boom in Washington, Christy Brinkley. If you look online, this one that's come up now, it's gigantic with celebrities. It's like Eric Estrada, and it's always cheesy people.
do you have a
You
favorite
and I have
regular
different
celebrity?
definitions of
Who?
gigantic.
A favorite regular celebrity that you've met?
It was really cool. Stephen Tobolowsky from the bald guy, Ned Ryerson from
Yeah.
The
wow.
insurance salesman from
Ned.
Groundhog
Yeah.
Day.
Well,
He's
Jeff-
had a crazy life. He's been on a couple podcasts. He's done some crazy. He was when he was a teenager. He was in Stevie Ray Vaughan's first band.
right.
Yeah, and like there was one time like he got held hostage in a grocery store and he like talked the guy down or so. I forget the exact story, but he's like lived. He's just this
He was an
character
air
actor.
traffic controller defending a Walmart.
Yeah, yeah. Sir, please just land.
Oh, the nicest, coolest person I met, there's a guy named James Lorenz, and he was the star of the movie called Frankenhooker, right? And it's a comedy horror film, right? Where his girlfriend gets killed and he assembles hookers' bodies to make her. It's called Frankenhooker. And if you ever see the box or the VHS tape, or online, it has a blurb from Bill Murray saying, if you see one movie this year, make sure it's Frankenhooker, right? Well, he's made a handful. He's been on like NYPD Blue, like playing like one of the criminals and stuff. He's like an actor, a New York actor who does things. But he goes to a horror convention, and I'm walking through it, and I hear, well, if it isn't John Kensil. And I look over, and he goes, I go, oh my God, James Lorenz. He goes, I follow you on your Facebook and your weird videos. He knew who I was. He knew who I was before I met him, and he's a really cool, funny guy.
That's amazing.
I've seen all of your videos of throwing puppets into garbage cans.
Tormenting Pat House is my favorite genre.
I love all your videos of you confusing your elderly father.
John, before we wrap up for the night, can you just talk about that now that you brought up our friend Pat House?
Yeah.
But John did this against Pat's wishes for a very long time. Anytime Pat would get called on the stage, and John was.
And the videos are still
there.
up. I watch them probably monthly, and I cry.
I know Pat did not want this.
No, I know.
But John did it anyway.
That's why I stopped it. I asked my government because, and I didn't. Well, every time Pat was introduced at Helium, I would not disrupt his act. Before he even said a word, before he got to the microphone, I would walk out as a character behind him, and then I walk off as if I was confused.
Yeah, like he'd walk out and like look out at everybody and get scared and run off
But
stage.
John's not telling you the whole picture. He would be dressed like fucking Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah,
holding a puppet.
or like the devil in like spandex.
And Devil's Bag, Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock. But one of the best ones we did was I had Chip involved in it, where we looked like spies in the '60s. I had a fez and sunglasses, and Chip had an overcoat, and I came up behind Chip, and we exchanged a briefcase and walked off. And Pat's like, I don't know what the fuck that
Where
was.
can people find this?
I think if you just go to YouTube and look up the Pat House intros.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And there's there's a couple videos, and they're amazing. God. And there's always somebody cackling in the crowd, and it's always me.
It was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but I stopped on it because like Pat, Pat really just come along, and it's and I'm always afraid to like say, can you do me a favor and pull them? Because it's not detrimental to him.
They're very funny.
No,
Yeah.
never.
But it's
I would never let you take
a puppet.
Those down.
Oh, a couple times.
And it's also a decade ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
One was I came out as an Amish guy, right, and I had Doogie. I came out with eggs and butter. Came out as a lost Amish guy with suspenders on and a yellow shirt and the Amish hat. And Doogie was in the sound booth. And he goes, "Amish, it's what Pennsylvania's known for." And I looked around, and here I had a guy with fishing line. Yank my hat off my head. It's just crazy. It doesn't make any sense. And I did want to.
Are you doing these at real shows or open mics?
They're at Helium's open mics.
And in fact, people used to come to the open mic night just to watch it.
It was hilarious. It was so funny.
I did one Chip. I don't know where it's at. It might be online somewhere or someone's phone or something. I did one with Chip in Chip's act, and it like near the end of Chip's act, he goes, "I'm done for the night." So he was done his set. He got his material out there, and Chip's like, "Thanks," and then. I had Ben Mayer play Back in Time from Back to the Future. Right? You have the Huey Lewis song, right?
Yeah.
And I came running out as Doc Brown. And I had a white wig on, and I go, Chip, whatever you do, don't tell that joke. And Chip goes, why not? I go, it has dire consequences. If you don't believe me, ask your future self. And David James came walking out, the black comedian, right? And he said it, and he goes, yeah. Chip, don't tell that joke. And oh, by the way, in the future, you're gonna have a bigger dick. I don't even remember that, right?
Yep, yeah. And then I think I go, oh my god, in the future I'm gonna be bald.
I gotta find it somewhere. It was so freaking funny.
Oh man.
Perfect.
What a way to wrap this
What
up.
a capstone. Incredible, dude.
Wait, are we going to be in the studio next week, or is it? All right. Okay. All right. So we'll have at least one more dad meet here at Dad Meet Home Base before we move into our new fancy home. Chip, John, you guys are the fucking best.
God, that was fun.
John, you're going to be with us all month.
Yeah, sure.
Next week, John's going to be here with Reverend Bob
Oh
Levy.
my god.
And
That'll
Chip,
be a nice
please
time.
come back again sometime soon. Chip,
Anytime.
I meant to tell you, I don't know if I told you that night, but like you coming on Little Snickers was some of the most fun I've ever had doing anything.
Oh, anytime. I love that. It's
We
like
did
my favorite
Uncle
thing.
Eddie Savage together.
It was
And
the,
there's nobody I'd rather do Uncle Eddie with.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. That was so much fun. Anytime.
You know, there's a guy on Twitter named Uncle Eddie Sabatz.
Oh,
but
Wow.
it's
It's probably a
but
Bremen
the
fake
funny-
account.
wonder who that gentleman might be.
But the funniest thing is whenever there's any story about like the Dave Matthews Band emptied their bus bathroom over on a cruise ship underneath, and this Eddie Savitz guy always comments like, "That's my dream." Or like, "What a way to go!"
he's a real bad boy.
I'm always like, that's gross. Or he's always like, that's gross.
he's such a bad boy.
All right,
All
back
right,
to
gang.
the eating pad for me.
All right, chat. Thank you for hanging out all night. You guys are the fucking best.
Yeah, thanks for getting through with this.
Paul, Allen, Nifty Biscuit, Miles Coffee, Arju.
You fucking perverts.
Yeah, you're our
Love you guys.
perverts. Love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
I gotta watch those intros. They're so funny.
There's like 5 or 6.